Now, Paula, on September the 28th, you'll be in Fresno at the Tower Theater. What can your fans or even new fans expect to see on stage from Paula Poundstone?
I talk about raising a house full of kids and animals. I talk about trying to pay attention to the news well enough to cast a halfway decent vote. I don't know, but my favorite part of the night is just talking to the audience. I do the time-honored "Where are you from? What do you do for a living?" And in this way, little biographies of audience members emerge, and I use that from which to set my sails. So, no two shows are the same, because each show has a tremendous amount to do with who's in front of me at the time.
I think that's fantastic, and it's going to be a great show, September the 28th at the Tower Theater in Fresno. Now, you mentioned, it's so difficult to watch the news. You're right. I mean, I don't understand where to go. Like, are we being serious when we're worried about the things that are going on with the weather and the hurricane, and then all of a sudden we're talking about our president and Russia, and then it's just like so many things are just all over the place. I don't even know how to keep up anymore.
No, it is confusing time. It's scary. I mean, it would appear that we're headed towards nuclear war, and I don't say that to bum people out. I think there's a silver lining. I think it's going to bring back folk music.
Now, do you actually think...
And I love folk music, by the way, so that's good news.
Now, do you actually really think that Kim Jong-un wants to put himself in a position where, I mean, he could obviously, lose his regime? I mean, to me, when I think about it, in my opinion, I would think that this guy wants to stay in power, so why would he want to cause a bunch of trouble? It's almost like he's just kind of putting on this facade so the world knows that he's like a major leader, don't you think?
I think that's a big possibility. I hope that's the case. I also am not sure that there is a real, logical thought process going on from the little fella. I mean, you may be giving him too much credit to think there's rationale. I think, they say, the phrase "mad as a hatter."
Yeah.
That expression comes because hat makers, milliners, apparently, so I'm told, used to get mentally ill from I think it's the mercury or some ingredient that they used in hat making.
Huh.
Sometimes I think when I see the North Korean army with those silly hats that make their heads look way too small, that maybe there's something in those hats, that's causing the problem. Of course, Kim Jong-un doesn't wear the hat usually.
Yeah.
It's his subordinate to wear those big, giant hats. I don't know. I have yet to solve the world.
It's just unbelievable what's happening, and you're right. I mean, it's just confusing, and we're just trying to but the best thing that we could do is just live our lives, right? We don't need to worry about so much of what's going on around us. I mean, let's kind of enjoy our lives, and that's one of the reasons why I want to read your book, because, I mean, if you can find and help me find some happiness with, little scientific things that I can use to be happy, I'd rather do that than watch the news.
Oh, well, I do think sometimes watching the news. I mean, I think it's important to know what's going on in the world. I don't mean to dismiss the news. But, the 24-hour news cycle probably has caused more problems than it has, solved. On MSNBC, they're always in such a hurry. They're always like, oh, boy, we got a lot to cover today. And the truth is, whatever the host is covering the same thing that the last host did. And by the time, a big thing on any of those 24-hour news programs right now is the panel. Every day they introduce their panel. They say, thank you. I'm Bob Smith, and today's panel. Thanks for being with me. They'll say, it's Jane Overton from MIT. It's Ed Jingles, who was, part of Johnson's administration. It's Susie Watkins from USA Today. it's I don't know, it's Steve Nelson from Time Magazine, and then they go, well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you. By the time they finish introducing the panel, it's all over.
Yeah. I know exactly.
The day Trump's lawyer got a lawyer, I said, oh my gosh, we really are living in a special time. It's like those little Russian coupling dolls. There's one inside another inside another.
No, and you're right. And even as, like, if you're a Trump supporter, not Trump supporter, whatever the case, I mean, obviously he's still our president, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, like, even if there was something not going on with Russia, there seems to be a lot of ties.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? It's clearly drives numbers, which is partly why we're in the situation that we're in. But, I mean, it clearly drives. I mean, I find myself, if I look at, if I get up in the morning and look at some news source and I find, he hasn't said something nutty, I feel a little empty inside. It captivates our attention. Politics feels like it's everywhere right now, no matter what source you're using. Bride's World Magazine has a politics section, for heaven's sakes.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's almost like we need to hear something crazy from our president in order for us to feel happy about something. Because I will tell you this, like, even I feel like the president himself sometimes becomes a comedian in his own words, because I was watching him with the little boy that went to go mow the lawn in front of the Oval Office. And it's just, I mean, just his mannerisms and the things that he does. I mean, I laugh. I sit there and I laugh because I guess he's naturally funny in the way, certain actions that he does,
Yeah, no, I think he is too. I loved the kid mowing the lawn. I thought the kid mowing the lawn was, maybe the highlight of his administration. It turns out the kid has ties to Russia, but I don't think that's inherently a bad thing.
Paula Poundstone, September the 28th out at the Tower Theater in Fresno. You can get your tickets at towertheaterfresno.com. Paula, I wish I had so much more time to keep talking to you because I feel like we can talk about so much more. But Paula, thank you so very much for joining us on the show this morning. Once again, our listeners and fans of yours that are going to be joining us at the Tower Theater in Fresno, September the 28th, can they expect a brand new show? And like you said, a lot of things you're going to be talking about in regards to politics and trying to survive, the political world, the things that are happening in our world, and what else, really quick, can they expect from Paula Poundstone on September 28th?
Well, nobody gets hurt. There'll be no physicality in the show. So it's a night of laughter, and it's good for people to be out with other people laughing, as opposed to being at home staring at their flat thing.
Exactly, right? We need to start getting off of our phones. What's happening to us?
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of our big problems. I mean, look, we have a president who can't stop. Even his chief of staff can't rip it out of his fingers. Tell me that's not addiction right there. Addiction is where you're destroying relationships, doing something that you can't stop doing, despite the bad response that you're getting. It's classic addiction. And the reason being, by the way, that the companies that make those things have purposely made them addictive. No one thinks, no one reflects anymore. We're all staring at our flat things. If you get a couple seconds on your hand, if you're waiting for your kid at school or waiting at the doctor's office, or heaven forbid you're having a few seconds at a red light, what are you doing? You're staring at your flat thing. I'm telling you, if Robert Frost had lived today and would have written Whose Woods Are These, I think I'll Google it.
And now we got this thing, they unveiled the new iPhone. It's like face recognition. You put your face in the phone, and now, you're going to be able to open and unlock everything that's on your phone. And I'm like, I don't want them to recognize my face.
Yeah, I don't know. It gets creepier and creepier, honestly, it does. I picture the things malfunctioning and just, whole cities of people walking down the street with their flat thing in front of them going, no, it's me. I don't know. There's something about it that just yeah.
All right, we're going to... We're going to leave it right there. Paula Poundstone, thank you so very much for joining me this morning. She's got a book out. She's got the podcast going on and the big show September the 28th at the Tower Theater in Fresno. Paula, once again, thank you so very much for joining me on the show this morning.
It was great talking with you. Thank you.
All right. Once again, folks, Paula Poundstone live at the Tower Theater September the 28th in Fresno. Do not miss this show. It's going to be a great one. Go to towertheaterfresno.com. That's towertheaterfresno.com for tickets. More Eggs, Bacon, and Joey on the way. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.